Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. We've got a fun one today, at least I think so. We're doing a versus video, but I'm coming at this one from a bit of a different angle than I usually would. So I first saw this post on Reddit and I was actually shocked at the response. So, we've got a battle taking place in a random system in the middle of nowhere between the First Order and the New Republic. Now, there's a mix of canon, legends, and even some fanon ships in here, but I'll give you the breakdown. The First Order has use of 1 Resurgent Class battlecruiser, 2 retrofitted ISD-2s, 3 Provocateur Class heavy cruisers, which, at least to my knowledge, are not actually canonical ships, and 4 Nebulon K Class frigates. The New Republic has 2 Nebula Star Destroyers, a Starhawk, a Corona, 2 MC-30s, then some additional starfighter squadrons. I'll say, I read this post, I immediately thought it was a complete wipe on one side, beyond obvious. A lot of the comments, however, I'd say 95% of the comments actually went the other way. So before I give my opinion, let me know down below who wins this matchup. And also credit to 2fit3921 for the prompt. So to me, the reason this matchup is so obvious is because the presence of one vessel. There's one ship on this list which is several times more powerful than its next closest opponent. That is the Resurgent Class Star Destroyer. Obviously, the heavy hitters for each side are the Resurgent and the Starhawk. We're going to go specifically into the Nebulas later to talk about them, but let's go first with the Resurgent. So one thing I think people don't appreciate about the First Order Star Destroyer is its size. It's basically 3 kilometers long and is as wide as a Star Destroyer was long. Let's put things into perspective. The Imperial Star Destroyer was arguably the most fearsome vessel of its era. Certainly, there were single ships which could take on ISDs, but they were rare. The Imperial Star Destroyer was the most common, extremely powerful vessel in the galaxy. The First Order had a doctrinal shift, however, where even the Star Destroyer of the Empire was seen as too disposable, and a more resource-limited and personnel-limited First Order instead tried to create basically the ultimate mainline battleship. As we'll discuss, the Resurgent has significant improvements in terms of both design and technology. Keep in mind, the Resurgent has a nearly 50-year technological advantage on the Imperial Star Destroyer. What's more, as I alluded to, it's taken the lessons from Imperial losses to heart. For example, unlike Star Destroyers of the past, the Resurgent is honestly pretty close to a battle carrier. There are more fighters and multiple hangar bays, meaning the entire starfighter complement can be launched quickly. In terms of weaponry, we see a more clear evolution from the ISD. It's got big cannons on either side of the superstructure, but the finalizer was actually even more potently designed for anti-capital ship action. And according to the Force Awakens cross-section, Resurgent's turbo lasers deliver more firepower and boast a faster recharge rate than Imperial Star Destroyers because of Kyber focusing crystals, which at the time of the Force Awakens at least were only present in Resurgents and larger ships. The vessel had over 3,000 turbo lasers and ion cannons, as well as a variety of smaller anti-starfighter weapons. Defensively, we don't know as much about the Resurgent. Obviously, it would have had a very powerful shield. We see a massive underbelly reactor. The ship was also designed with less clear targets and had redundant systems, so a shot to the bridge couldn't take out the entire ship. In my opinion, the Resurgent is the single most overpowered mainline capital ship of any faction in Star Wars history, and it's not close. So the big daddy for the New Republic is the Starhawk, and much of the argument that I saw was, well, the Starhawk is too powerful. Listen, the Starhawk, especially for its era, is a great ship. We've seen it do some pretty impressive things. It shakes apart that Star Destroyer in Star Wars squadrons. It helps take down the Reaper at the Battle of Jakku, but it will not be able to take out the Resurgent. It is just too powerful. The Starhawk is designed as a post-Endor ISD killer. The problem is the Resurgent is maybe an order of magnitude more powerful than a single Star Destroyer. There's two things that make me feel very confident that a Starhawk doesn't have the guts to take down a Resurgent. It's significantly less massive overall. That means its reactor is going to be shittier, it's not going to have the same firepower, but it's also built on older technology. A Starhawk is made out of the pieces of several Imperial Star Destroyers. It's using ISD grade weapons. It's using ISD grade shields, although probably more shield projectors overall. So we've got a smaller vessel using worse technology. The tractor beam could be a game changer, but it's not going to be able to survive the slagging the Starhawk gives it. So as mentioned, we've seen the tractor beam shake apart that Star Destroyer in squadrons, which is very impressive, and we see it pull down the Ravager at the Battle of Jakku. But for the Ravager, we also need some context. For one, it's a Chuck Wendig story. The dude couldn't write a space battle to save his life. What the Starhawk basically does is fall to Jakku and take the Ravager, the Super Star Destroyer, with it. The Ravager, however, is not able to actively resist the Starhawk because it's behind the vessel and they take out its engines with starfighters. It's just not going to work on a first order ship with better technology, better shielding, better engines as well. Even if it could eventually do something, the weaponry on the Resurgent is just made to kill capital ships. And the First Order clearly has some pretty advanced sciences they've been working on in the unknown regions. So the Starhawk doesn't have a chance. The smaller ships are not worth discussing, I don't think. Obviously, I'm going to take 4 Nebulon K class frigates and 3 Provocateur class heavy cruisers over 3 smaller New Republic ships. I think the fighters are basically a wash. Even if you're going to call them squadrons, still, it's not enough to turn the tide. Then we have the retrofitted ISDs versus the Nebulas. I honestly believe that I've got to take some personal responsibility for the belief that Nebula Star Destroyers are the greatest thing ever. It's honestly a bit of a meme because there are some sources which pump the numbers up, but what the Nebula is an extremely efficient vessel. Basically, the New Republic took a ship better than a Star Destroyer, or at least capable of beating a Star Destroyer, and shrunk it down to just a kilometer in size. They're very pragmatic, efficient ships. They call them pocket Star Destroyers. And what also made them so nice is they functioned really well alongside ships like the Endurance class fleet carrier, as we saw with the 5th Fleet, which was comprised totally of new class ships. So yeah, I don't know what these advanced ISD-2s are meant to be, but presumably they have a similar amount of firepower to the Nebula. We're starfighters overall, but again, there's such an advantage between the Resurgent and the Starhawk that the First Order is just really easily going to sweep this one. So yeah, this battle goes to the First Order 10 times out of 10. The biggest problem they face from the New Republic is going to be those starfighters. We don't know anything about the Nebulon K. Hopefully it's a good screening vessel, and hopefully, for the First Order anyway, the Resurgent's point defense cannons can go to work, but they're cleaning the New Republic and their capital ships. Those, at least, are my thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so, but maybe. Let me know yours down below. Am I misjudging the Starhawk and its powerful tractor beam? Maybe. I look forward to reading your comments down below. See you next time. May the Force be with you.